Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly.
Okay, welcome to the Village of Washington Falls second monthly meeting of the Mayor and Board of Trustees. Today's Wednesday, January 31st. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence for 3 of our residents passed away recently. Bud Farrell, active fireman. Mary Freer is down in Dutchess Terrace with her family for years. Joanne Burke. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. Okay. Roll call. Mayor Hubert.
Present.
Trustee Nicholas.
Here.
Trustee Tilisak.
Here.
Trustee Nesnick.
Here.
Trustee Williams.
Here.
Trustee Ruffin.
Here.
Trustee Smith.
Here.
Village Attorney Lindar.
Here.
May I have a motion to pay the bills as per approved warrant?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
John? Yeah.
I'll second.
Trustee Nicholas, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
All right, what we're going to do tonight, a little differently than we've done in the past, is at the end of the printed portion of the agenda, the mayor will open up for public comment. Public comment will consist of the individual who has a comment to walk up to the speaker or the microphone, state your name and address. You'll have 3 minutes to state your business. It will not be a debate. You state your business and then sit down. That's typically how it works in most places anyway. Okay, we have an election coming up soon in March 19th. There's a resolution appointing inspectors of election. Whereas by prior resolution, the village of Wappingers Falls has been divided into 3 wards. And whereas it is the desire of the board to appoint inspectors and a chairperson election in accordance with the provisions and sections of the election law. Now therefore be it resolved that the following named duly qualified persons be and they are hereby appointed as inspectors of election for the village election districts as follows. Election District 1, Ward 1, Anne Marie Panaleo and Vinnie Fitzsimmons. You'll see that there's 1 in each ward from each party. Election District 2, Ward 2, Sue Johnson and Kathy Massey. Election District 3, Ward 3, Grace Parbowski and Geraldine Pettit. Inspectors will designate their own chairperson, which is probably going to be me. Resolved that the above-named inspectors of election shall, prior to the election assumption of their duties, file a constitutional oath of office with the clerk. Shall preside at all village elections for the ward for which they have been appointed, and shall perform all duties of inspectors of election provided by law until their successors shall be appointed. And be it further resolved that the compensation for the inspectors of election herein appointed is hereby fixed at $17 per hour and $30 for meals per inspector, for all services to be performed in the general election to be held March 19, 2024. Can I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in
Trustees?
favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Just so everyone knows, the election for all 3 wards is held right here in this room. Okay, hiring of a part-time police assistant. This is resolution number 3, 2024. Whereas Police Assistant Judith G.M. Petro has resigned from her full-time employment with the Village of Wappingers Falls effective February 1st, 2024, but has requested to be rehired as a police assistant part-time effective February 1st, 2024. Can I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Trustee Williams?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 9, 2024. Resolution authorizing Todd Atkinson to conduct the State Environmental Quality Review Act analysis for treatment of the Wappingers Falls Lake.
Get a motion?
Can I ask a question on that? How much time is going to be spent, what are we looking at time-wise
On.
on this?
On
The lake?
The Secor or the lake?
Just in general, what he's going to do for this lake here.
He's going to treat it 3 times. If he can start this in May.
No, I'm talking about Todd Atkinson.
Oh, top, it's just a secret. I don't know what's.
So it's just a one-time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
that's
He
all I
has to
want to know.
contact everybody who abuts the lake. So the town of Poughkeepsie, things like that.
So we're not talking a lengthy
Should
amount
not
of
be.
time? Okay.
No.
Thank you.
We have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
This item has been on the agenda a couple times. I'm being asked by folks at the Presbyterian Church, they want a letter of our intent. You went to executive session last meeting, Mayor. Did you
Yeah.
want to do that again?
We say Ian, for the Presbyterian Church. Remember the letter I gave you about the parking issue over there?
Yeah, I drafted a letter. I emailed it to you. I'm just waiting to hear back. There's just some information that I don't have, some of the contact information, some of the names of the people who I should be addressing the letter to, but the content of the
All right,
letter is drafted, so it's in the works.
Okay,
That letter's in the works.
all right.
I'll move it to the next meeting.
Yep.
Okay. Treasurer would like to move 20,000 from contingency to the highway, streets, and maintenance equipment line. Could I have a motion?
Oh, I'd like to, did you find anything?
Yes, Jeff, I did text Lori, and she said that the check from Central Hudson was $20,400, and the truck also needs to be, the remainder money also needs to be there's registration that needs to be
Right.
paid for and things like that, so that's
Right, we
why.
also, well, the reason I was saying if it could move the whole 24 is they had to buy lights and plywood and all that too, so that's gonna be in their line. Just looking to cover what we spent on the truck with the money that we put in,
Right.
so.
Well, she put down 20, so
Yeah, well,
I'll make that motion.
For a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
You've been provided with a letter from former trustee Larissella with respect to the new zoning laws, and he's not here tonight. I don't know.
He's coming. He said he was gonna come, so.
Okay, so we can hold off on that for now? Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, let's table that and see if he comes.
Okay.
Everybody got an email from Lisa Cobb yesterday
Yes.
about this? I'm sure you all read?
Yes.
Okay.
I just have one question. Did anybody inspect that to make sure that it is gonna be legal as for height of the ceiling and entries in and out?
That would be the building inspector and.
So he'd have, during the permit process, he could get knocked down.
Talking with former trustee Larissell, he is gonna make it, if it's not already, a legal apartment if he can, with
Okay.
egress windows,
Right, okay.
a door that goes out outside.
I thought he was just looking to put the rent sign in the window now.
No, he's not even started on it yet.
All right.
It will be legit.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay,
Trustee Larissell's here now.
all right. Approval to permit Denise Panaleo to begin working on the Village 2024 Summer Camp event. What this means is she is per diem until the summer program starts, and then she becomes a civil service summer employee. In the meantime, there's a lot of work that has to be done with getting the Board of Health there and getting the people lined up and all of that. She would like to begin that now. What we've paid in the past was $25 an hour per diem, and the treasurer would like to put a cap on that of 4 hours per month, up until the point that camp starts.
4 hours a month.
Up until the time camp starts.
I seen her up there making copies and that will eat up the time quick, but that's what the treasurers are.
If you don't want the cap, why don't you just approve that she can start, and then I'll figure out with her how much time it'll be per month.
I'm only one person, John, but
John?
I don't.
We are already getting calls of interest of people who are interested in camp. I would say let's start 1 month with the 4-hour cap. If we need to up it, we up it later. But I would approve this for right now, so she can get the Board of Health and all that other stuff, so she can just get started.
Yeah, I wasn't saying not to approve. I was just saying I don't think 4 hours a month is enough time to do it.
Well, let's do some learning during the month of February, and then we'll see.
Okay,
Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to accept the resignation of Police Officer Cecil Thomas effective January 22nd?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Mike, yep.
Can I have a motion to accept the part-time probation?
Excuse me, shouldn't that be an executive session?
What's that?
Next item? It's a personnel matter, I think.
Probably should.
Yeah, this was not on my agenda, so I haven't seen this.
I mean, I'm just asking.
We'll table that to executive session.
All right,
I make a motion to table this item to executive session,
Is
please.
there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
trustee Nesnick wanted to talk,
Oh, I was gonna say, we can call trustee Larcella.
yeah, we will.
Okay.
Did you want to do that before we?
No, we can do this one, then we'll go jump back to trustee Larcella.
Okay, a discussion snow ordinance, trustee Nesnick.
I'm actually going to turn that over to our lawyer, Ian.
As many of you know, I've been working with Mike Hall with regard to a number of different parking issues. Snow ordinance came about, really kind of brought a lot of these issues to a head. And so I've started drafting already revisions to the code. There are a number of sections in the code that are really archaic and need to be repealed. Some things need to be changed. There's going to be a lot of cleaning up of the code to make it read better, clearer. So the snow ordinance is going to be involved with that. I would like to have another meeting with Mike and Jen, if possible, as soon as you guys can. I'd like to meet with you. I've got some questions with regards to certain aspects of enforcement on the amendments, as far as towing and some other. There's a number of different provisions that are being amended. Also, we had discussed the issue with regards to 2-hour versus 4-hour parking, if that's something that we're going to add into this. So there's a number of different items that are coming in, and we're trying to do this in more globally, in one amendment, not so piecemeal, and which is more costly and not very time effective. So if you guys can get me some dates where we could perhaps meet, we can start finalizing this, and I'm looking to introduce this within the next month.
I'm good anytime but tomorrow.
Anytime but tomorrow. So that's Friday.
And
or-
before next Thursday.
What do you look like Friday?
Tomorrow, what time?
Any
do
day
tomorrow,
but
right?
Can't do
tomorrow.
it tomorrow, I'm sorry. Okay, so, Tuesday afternoon. Do we want to be inclusive of the public on this?
No, not at
Not
this
at this
point.
point?
It's not necessary, no.
Alright.
I mean, when we have the draft, then that will be introduced and the public will have an opportunity to speak, and there'll be a public hearing on it at that point in time.
Tuesday to the 6th in the afternoon, I got a big block. How about you?
Tuesday, 6th. In the afternoon?
Your office?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Do you want to do 2?
Sure.
Jen, can you do that?
Okay.
Right.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
going back to the printed portion of the agenda. Adam Lauricella is requesting permission to convert a finished lower-level space into an accessory apartment. In your handout is his letter. Everybody should have that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Coming in.
2722 West Main Street.
February 5th?
I did speak with,
Tuesday, 6th.
I don't know if I should be leading this, or if one of the trustees, or you, Mr. Mayor, want to lead it. I'm not sure where we're at based on
So,
the letter or what.
all the trustees got this letter, and of course the attorneys. Lisa Cobb has emailed us back, if anybody had any comments, to talk about it with her.
Yeah, so if you don't mind, we received the letter. That letter was sent to the planning board attorney. Planning board attorney has analyzed the request and has recently drafted a memo, which was only very recently sent to the board. I don't believe the board's really had enough time to speak or even discuss the issue, but your letter is being addressed. It's being looked at. The code revision that you're requesting is being looked at this time.
I just want to speak to that real quick, just so the board understands. The letter was sent at the suggestion of Lisa Cobb and of Michelle Grieg and of Engineer Atkinson.
Correct.
That was the impetus, because I went following the conversation to the board. I had already, as I told you, had an application out. Though I had been taken off the agenda, I hadn't been notified, which is fine, but which caused me to be there. And so I just sat with them, and that was the guidance they gave me. Subsequently spoken with Tom Morris. I understand he's not here, but he told me, he instructed me to say this, to bring this. So, I mean, you'll obviously all have his contact information, but he was very specific in saying that he, Lisa Cobb, and Joe Simone, who I believe is the assistant, believes that this was an error, and that in the second quarter, they have every intention of bringing a formal request to the board to have this be, because basically what it is that there needs to be a change in code to reflect. It's not specific to me. What I'm asking is not really specific to me. I mean, it is, because I'm only advocating for myself, but I'm not looking for spot zoning. And as the conversation developed with Chairman Morris, as I stated last time when I was here, he also was completely surprised to find that it feels like it was overlooked by everybody, not just me. So they're anticipating making this, because it wasn't the intention or they call it the essence of the essence of the law. The intention of the law was not to do what it's now finding ourselves in.
Talking with Building Inspector Brian Murphy, looks like they were going to revisit this, and like you said, the second quarter, so it'll be like 6 months.
He said May, June. He's coming in April. They'll be fleshing it out. April, May.
By June.
June, the recommendation will be maybe May, maybe June. It'll go 30 to the county, and then there will be a ask for the board to vote. At the time, had I had that conversation, Chairman Morris, I just figured I'd gone this far. The letter had been submitted. I wanted to come and see if this is something that's going to be supported or not be supported.
So if I can help fill in some of the blanks here. You are before the planning board. Planning board is in.
I'm no longer before the planning board.
But the advice from the planning board
Yes.
was to come here. And the
Correct.
reason the advice was to come here, because the only way to do what you would like to do is through a use variance, which is,
Actually, I'm not sure if that was what was told to me.
the only way you're going to be able to do what you want to do is through a use variance, and quite frankly, you're probably not going to be able to do that. So your only real option is to have a zoning change to continue this situation.
Oh, right. So that's my, yeah.
So the problem with that is whenever you do a major overhaul on a zoning code, which we did, which is part of the reasons why we had recommended we start looking at this thing and analyzing it. And that's why Mr. Morris came in and he took time and explained this to the board. It's inevitable there's going to be situations that are unintended. And whether this is one of those situations that seems to be what is being conveyed to you, I don't know. No one's here to support that statement.
Well, yeah, I know, and I
fine.
prefaced that. I know he's not here. I wouldn't
That's fine.
keep
So
standing
the
here.
request then is to come to the board to request the zoning change.
Correct.
So, and there's been a memo that's been submitted to the board from the planning board council with regards to that. We just haven't, I don't think the board's had enough time yet to talk about it, but the time scale that you're looking at seems to be well in play right now. So if there's going to be something to be done, then you've made your request. The planning board seems to be in agreement there. So it's the issue. Next steps will be looking to how do we fix it?
Right, so can I just ask directly, is it such that the timeline, being that, you know, there was a issue because it's been 4 or 5 years since we did this, is this something that the board is interested realistically in looking at? And I think at this point, even though you haven't all had a conversation maybe with yourselves, do you feel like you have the information to at least say to me that you understand what is being asked and that you agree or not?
I would say, I think. Talking
I understand what you're asking, and as long as it has escape windows and the proper entry and the ceilings are high enough, I have no problem.
Yeah, I mean, in very broad terms,
Yeah.
you know, I understand what's going on, but I think when you ask the board whether they agree or disagree, that's when we're going to vote. You know,
I'll rephrase the question.
it's-
I'll rephrase the question. Is the Board of Trustees, is it correct that the Board of Trustees will look favorably on the professional suggestions like you did when the planning board and the planning board leaders come and say, this is what we recommend?
I don't necessarily want to speak for the board, but I think it's fair to say that the board is willing to entertain, to look into the legalities of whatever amendments need to be made in this situation. Because I don't know of anybody, there's been no discussion for the board. I think they're not really in a position to state what you want them to state at this point.
Well, I would disagree that you don't have to have a conversation, like, I wouldn't have to have a conversation with you to have an opinion. And when I sat up here, I didn't have to have a conversation with anyone to have my own opinion. And by the time I get to a workshop, after having the letter with enough time, I would be able to formulate an opinion. So I understand it's not a vote, and that's not what I'm asking. I just want to know if I'm chasing my tail.
Just to weigh in,
Hmm?
my opinion is that Dazzles was a commercial property, right? It was zoned commercial. And then across the street from you, you have a deli that was zoned commercial, right? So when the new code came out, I mean, I personally looked at that. I said, that's weird. I wonder why now we're taking two big properties with two big parking lots and putting them as a VR. That was odd to me. So I really do want to see what avenues we could explore to change that. Is
Okay, great.
fair?
Appreciate it. Yeah, that's all. I'm not looking for a vote. I just want to get a temperature. That's what I'm trying to do. And based on my history with other people, I just want to know what the temperature is. That's all. I get it. I get the process. I'm not trying to hold anyone's feet to the fire.
Being in the situation
Yep.
that I was in, I told you before, I totally know how you feel, and if they come to us with that answer, then I am more than receptive.
Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for your time. I appreciate it. And thank you for meeting with me on a Saturday.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate everyone listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
Okay, moving along. Monthly updates. Police, Trustee Ruffin.
I'm gonna, if that's all right with you, Paul, would you like to speak for a police update?
I will have a complete report for the board at the next meeting, and I'll have it out.
So we have not had our police committee meeting. That's going to take place next Thursday in the afternoon at 4 o'clock. Would it be okay if I defer this item till the end of the month and give a police committee update then? I have piecemealed information to give you.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
you can table this to the board meeting.
Finance, Trustee Nesnick.
Right now, what if they haven't already received the letters, we're going to be sending out a letter that Lori had put together for all the department managers to start getting ready to bring in their budgets to start that process for next year. So we're be in the process in the next few weeks of setting up some meetings with our department managers to get that going.
Highway, trustee Smith.
I have to apologize. I had a sick wife for the last 14 days and basically haven't left the house. Haven't even seen the new truck yet, so I've had conversations with them. Everything seems to be going good, but I have not been down there or had a meeting.
Okay, Fire and Lake, trustee Nicholas.
Fire, our next month, our next meeting, I plan to have the updates. I put the wrong papers in my briefcase this morning when I left the house. So next meeting, I'll have an update for fire.
All right, safety. We've done a few things. Bloodborne pathogens training took place for most of the employees. I got a couple more left. I had the carpet fixed upstairs. There were some runs in it and trip hazards, and I had that fixed this week. So 4 of those safety problems have been fixed. Stormwater management, I've been telling you about right along, that there's a new DOT permit out, and it'll take place, it's already in place, and it'll run for the next 5 years. And if you look in your handout, and you flip to that, 2024 MS4 Spades action item list and deadlines. Those deadlines are right on top of us. The notice of intent, what that means is that this board is willing to sign up to that new permit, which is about the size of a Manhattan phone book, or it used to be. It's about that thick. There are a lot of things in it that have to be done that weren't in the previous permit that we received 5 years ago. Having said that, a notice of intent has to be signed and approved not after the next meeting. I asked Todd Atkinson to prepare the NOI, and he has it ready. You will also, during the February meeting, if you like, I can stay on as coordinator, but the coordinator position with the next permit is totally different than the coordinator position was with the previous permit. You will need to name an MS4 operator, which is typically your DPW superintendent. In most, if not all, the 14 communities that are in the watershed. You will also need to have, and you have some time to think about it, a consultant. We've been very fortunate the past 20 years, we didn't need a consultant. Most communities have had consultants, and they run 40 to 60K per year. And that's probably about what this is going to be. What I'm suggesting that you do is during your reorganization, or before your reorganization, that you look at the companies that are out there that provide consulting work. Todd and his company, they're an engineering consultant firm. Podgy and Fishkill is a consultant, and they do it. Insight Engineering, Contelmo, they do it. If you like, and somebody says to me in the near future, John, go out and get quotes, I will. And then I'll have it for you. But this is huge, folks. I can't.
Yeah, no, this is one thing that Super John talked to me about too, and told me that this is gonna be a real,
The things they're asking, for example, I have been checking the outfalls for the past 20 years and reporting 20% of them that we inspect on an annual basis, taking pictures of them. There's 23 of them in the village that all dump into either the gorge or make their way to the gorge. Now, that's not enough. Now you got to map out your storm drains and how they flow and what they're made of and where they end up. That's huge in itself. You're talking somebody walking around with a GPS and recording all this information and then having it ready for them for their interim progress report April 1st. You have till July 3rd to do all the other things that are listed here. That is to July 3rd. That is not start July 3rd. That's got to be done by July 3rd. So anyway, I'm not going to spend a whole lot more time on this. If you want me to stay on as your coordinator and you appoint me at the next meeting, I'll do my level best to help. But you're going to need an MS4 operator and a consultant. Electric lights, we've got 16 double woods in the village. I identified them, and I've been working with Central Hudson, Verizon, and Optimum to remove the utility lines that they have, attach them to the new poles, so we can cut down the old pole, or pull it out and get rid of it.
I got a real bad one by my house.
On West Main, there's about a dozen.
This one's splintered, and pieces are in the road.
Okay, give me the number when you get a chance. I'll take care of that. While we're talking about that, a lot of people don't know that if you see a light out, that would be, call me. I have a direct line to Central Hudson for street lights that are out. And I know a lot of times I get a lot of help from the police when they're out and they fill out. Now, all I need is an intersection and a pole number. And I can get that fixed.
John?
Yep.
In that matter, if we could also mention to them, if we have any mounting hardware for veterans banners or anything else, if it's on the old pole, can move it to the new pole.
I would do my level best to communicate with them on that. Yep, that makes sense. Do you all know how that works? When you get a new pole, they put the high-tension wires up on the top. Then they cut the pole just above the utilities, the old pole, just above the utilities, and then they leave.
Got one across the street.
And when you call them, well, that's not us, that's Cablevision, that's Verizon. And you get that run around. I've been working on it with Jimmy Chase now for 8 months.
What if you have one in your driveway that actually has a stamp of theirs on it?
I remember, I saw that one.
It's been there for 20-something years.
Okay, that's the long and short of my stuff. Recreation, Trustee Tilizak.
Recreation. The next recreation event will be the Easter egg hunt. There's not too much on that yet. I do, however, want to mention one item. The village was contacted by the widow of John Regan, Kathy Regan, with an offer to help underwrite the summer concert series, which he dearly loved, in his memory. The Recreation Committee met, graciously accepted the offer. I met with her on Saturday. We will be working together. So this summer's summer concert series, there'll be a number of bands who had people who played with him or knew him or were friends who will be, in his honor, performing in the village. So our thanks to Mrs. Regan. That's it.
That's it?
All right.
Okay. Mayor, do you have anything on water?
I got one very important one that we got to do. So the water board is looking to hire out Todd Atkinson's firm to help go through the village for the lead pipes. There are lead pipes in this village, and we have to have it done. I want to say by October. Am I correct, Ian? I think it was October.
October of 2024, the lead service line inventory has to be done. It's mandatory, you have to do it. There's potential fines associated if you don't, and it's an extensive.
Could be up to
expensive project.
$38,000 a day that the village would have to pay. So what they're doing, what they would be doing, they'd be going, knocking on doors and asking to look at the meter downstairs to see if you have a lead line that comes into your house. Then they would take a picture of it and have to mark it down in a book, and it'd be filed with the EPA. Then they might have to even go out in the street and see if there's lead in the street also. So they want to hire this firm to do that. So
The initiative also requires 100% compliance.
yeah,
So there's
we have-
no
we have to do
circumventing it.
this, yeah.
Do we have an estimated time about how long it would take?
I don't.
We gave it.
It'd be done before October 2024. Put it like that.
That's a long time to accumulate hours, Mayor.
It is.
You're significantly behind.
Yeah,
You're
we're
significantly.
about 15% done, and that's, I mean,
Now, is that the 15% that John knows already?
that's the
Or is-
15% that he already has marked down already.
Okay.
Including.
Is John gonna be working with them? 'Cause
Working
I
with
know
them,
he
'cause
said
he knows
he's
pretty much
familiar with
where
a
the
lot
lead
of it.
area is, but he's not sure if people, if, you know, whose house has lead in it or not, but he knows where there are some lead pipes in this village.
So he'll be assisting them? is
He'll
what
be
you're saying.
assisting them, yeah.
Okay.
His smartness, yep. And that's all I got for water for now.
Personnel, trustee Nesnick.
Nothing on personnel.
Tri-Muni, trustee Nesnick.
Right now with Tri-Muni, we're just really changing of the board with the elections that were held in Poughkeepsie, and so everybody's just kind of settling in.
You can refer to your handout, and you'll see a page there, I think it's the very last page, are the committee updates. Police, trustee Ruffins, chair, trustee Nesnick and Nicholas. DPW, trustee Telesak is the chair, trustee Ruffin and Williams. Fire, trustee Nicholas is the chair, trustee Telesak and Smith. Legislative, trustees Nesnick is the chair, trustees Ruffin and Williams are committee. Finance, trustees Nesnick is the chair, trustees Ruffin and Nicholas on that committee. Lake, trustee Telesak is the chair, trustees Nicholas and Smith committee. Personnel, trustee Ruffin is the chair, trustee Telesak and Williams are the chair people. Mayor, that completes the printed section of the agenda for tonight.
All right.
We will open,
Quick question, is there no change to Recreation Committee, or?
No change.
No change, okay.
does it say anything on there about that?
No, it doesn't, I just wanted to make it
Yeah, no
explicit.
change. No, I don't think there was.
Not implied, okay.
Go open up to the
No
public.
longer Parks Commission, no longer Parks Committee.
Parks Committee? Yeah, sure.
I didn't hear it on there.
No, we didn't update anything on that.
These are just changes.
Just changes on other
The
committees.
changes I just read out, the only changes that there are.
Can you email that to me tomorrow, the updated list?
Yep. Yep.
You have anything for Parks or Charlie?
Parks, you know, the stuff we want to do with Parks, some of it involves money, and I just don't know, you know, I'm hoping as part of the budget process now, that the Parks will be able to come in and explain what we need money for.
Yep, yep.
And make our pitch. Because right now, I don't know what we actually have, or, you know, what the priorities
All right.
are.
Well, I know the treasurer's doing a budget, lining up for a budget thing there, so if you,
Yeah, so we can get just an opportunity to come in and say, this is what
Yeah.
the village needs. And
I'll let her know and, you know, have her email you, and this way you can get in contact with her and we'll set up a date with you when we start doing the budget over in.
Yeah, we're gonna make a schedule for everybody to come in.
Awesome.
Okay, so moving forward, at the next meeting, the agenda's gonna say on there, at the end, just before executive session, it'll say public comment. That's when folks will be able to walk up, say their name, address, state what they have to say, have 3 minutes, no debate, and then go back and sit down.
There's no debate, mean no questions? It's just a one-sided, you come up and make a statement?
Correct.
And there's no two ways. So at what point do citizens have an opportunity to address the board to ask questions?
The way I vision it to work is if you have a question or a concern, the board would say, that'll be handled by so-and-so, and they will get back with you.
And did they want to say that?
They will say that. Well, they should say
In
that.
my experience, it doesn't.
Well, let's try it.
All right, is there any comments? Anybody? Public? Come on up, please.
It hasn't been like that in 40 years, but now we're changing.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll be real quick. One is on Clinton Street. I know that's, it's too early, it's not springtime yet, but the lines need to be repainted really bad, because people come out of the deli and the gas station, and they just come right in the middle of the road. They don't see the lines. They can't see the lines at all. I'm sorry. My name is Ara Mori. I'm from 67 Channingville Road. And coming down that road, there's no lines. And, I mean, from the gas station to West Main, the lines have totally disappeared. So I think we need to repaint those lines again. Secondly is, more importantly, is a very dear friend of mine was hit by a car in the crosswalk by Grinnell Library on January 2nd. My concern is there's not a whole heck of a lot of lighting, especially up by Grinnell Library. I don't know if that's a county issue, a state issue, or a village issue. But she's still in rehab. She's in bad shape. And I think those ones where the people push the buttons are wonderful. I think they're fantastic. But even with that, some people ignore it.
Right.
And you can't, there's nothing else you can do for that. But the ones up by Grinnell, the ones around the corner by the school, there's no lights, nothing. And the people just take their life in their hands to try and cross the street, hoping that, especially coming up to around the school there where Daniel got hit, it goes around and people totally ignore the signs. And I was just hoping that maybe the board could be looking at getting better lighting. One up by Grinnell, what's really hard is when you're coming down the hill or if you're coming up the hill and if somebody is stopped, you can't see beyond, you can't see that crosswalk because it's so, the lighting oncoming lighting is blinding. So it really needs, I think more attention needs to be put in the crosswalks. You guys have done a fabulous job getting lighting and getting stuff in there. I mean, it looks really good, but I think there's a lot more on the signs that have no lighting, have nothing on there. So I'm hoping and praying for my friend Karen McLeod, whose husband passed away the other day, and I'm hoping in her name that this could be fixed rather quickly.
So I reached out to Senator Rob Rollison's office a few months back on this issue, and I'm reaching out to him again, and I'm going to try to get help with the county legislator also, so maybe we can team up on that part there. Thank you. Charlie?
I do have one question, and it shouldn't be a problem. At the beginning of the meeting, excuse me, at the beginning of the meeting, when I asked for a treasurer's report or whatever it is, the same thing is said every month, every meeting, is all bills have been reviewed and paid, blah, 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 whatever it is. But we never get to see what those bills are. Those are public record. My understanding is those are public records.
Not a treasurer's report, if I could just say, it's just to authorization to sign bills.
Is there a treasurer's report every month?
No.
There's no treasurer's report on the finances of the village.
Well, we could, if there's something you'd like to know, we can most definitely.
Well, we're not supposed to talk, but there should be a treasurer's report every month, and I'll be following that. So.
I know they're supposed to talk about it because the OSC talked about it.
So we have, my point is, and I'll say it because I can't ask questions, I have a couple of points, I'll try to cook within my 3 minutes, but, Mr. Karj talked about the drainage and how there's laws that we have to do this. Well, the State Controller's Office has laws too, that they want the village to report to them the expenditures and the revenues that come into the village. And for the past few years, when you go on their website, there's no reports of what our expenditures or revenues are. When you go to the budget, last year's budget, there's 2 columns, account number and budget amount. Nothing about past expenditures, current year-to-date expenditures, nothing. Every other budget, you look at years beyond, 6, 8 columns of budgets. They're telling you how much they spent. Exactly, not just the budgeted amount, up to that date. What's the projected expenditure for the end of the budget year? We got none of that. We got 2 columns. And this is after the Attorney General's audit. This is the year after the Attorney General's audit. This isn't the dates they audited. This is now. And then we get a finance report and we hear like all bills are paid. Well, yeah, that's great. Could you tell us how much money we have in the bank? Could you tell us how much money we're spending? Where are we getting all this money from? Where we're getting pay raises that are far beyond what's in the budget that I see of the budgeted amount. So what's going on? Where are we going to get this information? If the village isn't forthcoming, I ask for records, I don't get them. I get told, oh, we don't know. We don't have the record for the recreation funds. We don't know. Well, there was $70,000 in there last time I looked. Where did it go? Now you don't have them? Where's that money showing up in the budget? This is bad. It's very bad. And what we're talking about is things that have nothing to do with it. Where's the progress? What's going on? That's what I want to know. And the last meeting I asked about this, the State Controller's audit, which was very damning on the village. The village is keeping it secret. I said that. The only place you'll see that audit is if you go to the State Controller's website and you know how to find it, which I do, but I'll bet you there's a lot of people that don't. That should be on the village website and let the people know what's going on here and what information they're not getting. And we should have a progress report, not just what bills are paid, progress report on what's going on to make this better. This is public money. This is our money. We deserve to know where it is. Thank you.
Anybody else?
I just have one comment to make. I'm going to give you the police report by the next meeting. Those numbers are being compiled as of 12 o'clock tonight, so I don't have it. But I've received a number of complaints relative to the crosswalks, and I just want the public and the board to know that we are aggressively addressing the crosswalk issue. The traffic division has directed details to crosswalk enforcement. So just so the public is aware, I am aware of the problem, and we are addressing it. And the mayor and I had a discussion the other night about the lighting at the Grinnell crosswalk. So I just want everybody to rest assured that I am aware of it and we are addressing it.
Here, Paul. Paul? Yeah. Okay,
Anybody else?
there's one item for the executive session that you tabled. If that's it, Mayor, did you, anything from the board?
Anything from the board?
I'm good.
No?
I have a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make that motion.
Or a second?
I'll second.
Mike, all in favor?
Aye.
What's
Opposed?
that for?
Is that
Personnel
The
issue.
reason.
A personnel issue.
Personnel issue.